Gentlemen, welcome back to another semen retention video. Today is day 79 on my streak. And I gotta be real, it's starting to feel like this whole SR streak is breaking the matrix. By that I mean breaking my matrix, because it's becoming a lot. There's a good breaking of the matrix, and then there's, I won't even say it's a bad, it's just kind of an overwhelming right now breaking of the matrix. Let me explain. The good side, okay? The confidence, the energy, the mental focus. I just feel like life is just unfolding for me. Everything's coming to me. Literally, like, unlimited amounts of money and success and all of this stuff is coming in, and I can see more lanes for it to come in. I'm more confident than ever that 2026 is the year where it just goes to the stratosphere. You know, just opportunities for health improvement and just like knowing who I am, being unapologetic, being so authentic, like rewiring my desires, how I think, you know, desexualizing my mind in these programs that were put on me at a young age from, you know, being exposed to the websites and so many good things. And it feels like those things are positively breaking the matrix in that, bruh, I feel like Neo waking up and just like I'm gonna bend a spoon with my mind pretty soon. Like I can tell that life is getting easier, just all around easier. And I'm so grateful for that. If you're on a long streak, you probably know what I'm talking about. Let me know in the comments if you are experiencing a similar thing. It's real. It's real shit that I'm talking about here. But lately I'm becoming aware of again, not a negative effect of it breaking the matrix, but it's just kind of overwhelming. And that is, guys, I am just starting to become aware of the fact that life is meaningless and everything is literally just me pushed out. And it's really just me here alone by myself. And I get this like, man, anxiety or this worry, this gut feeling when my mind starts to think like, and it just keeps going on and on and on and on and on and on. It's like our ego, our brains can't comprehend that there is no end to this game even after this lifetime. And I'm only thinking like this because my mom passed away in July. I wouldn't be thinking about this at all. So maybe that is playing a role in this. I know it absolutely is, actually. But then me getting on semen retention, just raising my frequency and doing all this fasting and getting my mind right, and just like, as my energy is going up, it's like I'm starting to perceive reality from a completely different lens, viewpoint, perspective. And I am just realizing that the people in my life that are here because of soul contracts, here to support me. But they're also me pushed out. It's like I've made them up. I've made you guys up. This whole situation, this whole dream of needing to put myself in a box, that there is a matrix, that there is this battle, this spiritual battle, this good, evil, all this stuff going on, that there is this life of mine, that I had this health journey to overcome, and this mission, and how do I make money, who do I need to become this type of man. And then I see my parents getting old, and one of my parents passing away, and the sadness of watching somebody not really figure this out in their life and just accept limits, physical limits to life, and want to transition towards that direction. And it's just like, there's just so much sadness in general of just coming to grips of like, holy shit, kind of by myself here, you know? Everybody is just me pushed out. And hey, maybe this is, you know, implying it's time for me to start opening up my social circle a little bit more, right? Getting involved, going and do more. But like I said, I haven't wanted to. I've wanted to keep a tight circle these days. And maybe going out would like help me fall back into the dream. Oh, it's fun. Everything's real. But it doesn't matter if I go and do that and I experience brief moments of that, because in between those things, it always comes back to this feeling of like, none of it's real. I know none of it's real. I freaking know this is a dream. But also, it's like everything is pushed out. I'm literally just here for a lesson, for an experience, and that the people here in my life are here for me too, to help me gain that lesson and gain that experience. And yeah, you might be like, well, that's super selfish, Jason. We're all real too. Everybody's real. Bro, you are the center of your universe and your reality. Right? What do they say? The world doesn't revolve around you. Well, there is a you in your universe. Like, you are you are your universe, your matrix, right? I have this belief that we're somehow in this dream state, this hologram state, and that somehow we're living all these different timelines, lifetimes at once. It's like I'm in all these different timelines, and I can shift between them with my choices, with my emotional, mental states, understanding how, you know, this manifestation where it's hopping between timelines. But then there's also the fact that everybody has that happening, and somehow they all interact with each other, that you are side characters in my reality, and I am the main character in my reality. But in your reality, I'm a side character, and you're the main character in your reality. And you're the center of your matrix, I'm the center of my matrix. I'm convinced this is how this works, and that when we're sleeping at night, we're actually awake in whatever the real next dimension is that we're operating out of, that our higher selves are operating out of, and that this one is actually a dream. And I'm just becoming so painfully aware that it's like either the veil is thinning right now, or it's my frequency going up, and all this other work that I've been doing for years finally compounding. But I just keep getting these hits, just making it, I can just feel it in my chest, in my gut. I'm like, oh my God, this is not real. I can see through it. And life is, it's losing its meaning from it because it's like, the only meaning in life is the meaning we project on the experiences. It's like how two people can experience the same thing, and one can interpret it as terrible and bad, and one can interpret it as, oh, that was a fine experience. Same experience, but they project different meaning on it, and thus they got, it holds different meaning in their life because of that. But I am starting to understand how, Proverbs saying life is meaningless, all is vanity, all is meaningless. I think I'm starting to get a taste of it. Now, does it mean I want to be done? No, I'm not. Be very clear, I'm not going anywhere in this life. I have zero intention of bouncing early, but it is sad. It is quite literally, guys, like an old version of me is having to die off right now to birth this new, greater version of me. And I thought that was just from like in the 3D, in emotions and programs and habits and thoughts and all of this stuff. I thought that was the die-off that was happening. And it turns out there's such a deeper, more spiritual knowing of like the version of me that thought this was real is also dying off. And now the version of me that is becoming aware that this is just a game for lessons and it isn't really real, but still has to hop in and out and like enjoy it and play the game and have fun. But knowing that it's not real, it's like, yeah, none of it matters. You can go get whatever you want. And it's almost like this detachment now that is probably going to help me continue to get whatever I want in this reality. But dude, it's sad. Like it genuinely feels like a dying off of this excitement. I realized with my mom, it was like Christmas wasn't the same this year. It was the first year without her. And I've come to the realization she was why Christmas was so special. She projected the joy that I and my family associated with Christmas. It was from my mom. She projected that. That's why it felt special, exciting, something to look forward to. That was her. That was her energy. And I'm realizing it was the same about life. She projected a realness, an excitement onto this life, this reality. She thought it was 100% real. It was the realest thing ever for her. And because of that pulled me in and anchored me in, having a mother in this reality, anchored me in to feeling like this was all real. And now that she's not here, it's like, holy crap. This is literally a matrix. And I'm starting to see in between the code, I think. Through the veil, whatever you want to say. I'm just becoming increasingly aware that it's not 100% real. At all. You can kind of hear it in my voice, guys, like a little bit of this emotional tone, and it's because, man, when I start talking about my mom and all of this, it's easy for me to get emotional and break down. Like, I had a really big breakdown around my mom last night, a couple nights ago, and I know it's healthy to get this stuff out because, guys, on semen retention, you have to remember we are literally holding in this energy and we're moving it up. We're transmuting it, moving it through our bodies up. And in the process, we're raising our frequency, and lower frequencies, lower emotions, things that are stored up that need to be released, have to be released. And a big part of that is emotions that we have not dealt with, that we've just held on to, stored up. And that's a lot of what I'm going through right now. Just be aware. It's like, guys, there's physical benefits. Yes, there's female benefits. Yes, there's all, you'll get attention, you'll get more confidence, you'll get less anxiety, like huge benefits. Just keep in mind, you gotta be man enough to go through all this emotional BS and release this stuff. Not many people are talking about that. But you have to go through it and release it to get to the next level, this next version of you. And then in the process, apparently reality starts to shift and you start looking at this matrix like, fuck. I get why people would go take the blue pill again, or whatever one makes you fall asleep and go back to reality, you know, in the matrix. The one where everything's real again and you don't question anything. I get it. I am starting to truly get why people would not want to wake up. Because it is a burden that most people will not be able to bear. Interacting with your family is no longer the same. Talking about all the everyday stuff, shooting the shit with people, it's just not always the same. Like, I'm trying to be intentional to find joy in this stuff, because there are still moments where I feel incredible joy, but then I get hit with this of like, dude, it's all a game. It's not real. And on one hand, that sucks, because it's the death of all that you have known in this lifetime, in this experience. On the other side, it is a gift, because you can literally have whatever you want now that you know it's a game. There's universal principles to abide by and use to get whatever you want. And I have spent the last 5 or 6 years just brute will forcing reality to bend to my will, whether it's money, whether it's my career, my focus on that stuff, my health. Like, I have brute willed things into existence using all these techniques and stuff. And yeah, that's awesome, but now I'm just starting to get to this point of like almost not even caring anymore. Not even trying to force anything anymore. Like, I don't care to force it anymore. I'm just like, fuck it. Whatever, what is, what is. What is will be, what will be, will be. Knowing that my frequency is now going up and vibrating so much, and I'm just protecting my sexual energy to a point where it's like, cool. I know I will inevitably get everything that I want. I have to. It's my vibration. My default vibration will just pull it in for me. So if you're going to do this semen retention journey, guys, just be ready for the fact that there comes a point where you get on a long enough streak where shit gets weird, the matrix starts to break. In a good way, and in an exhausting, maybe not so good way. For a season, as you're in between becoming this new great version of yourself and dying to your old self at the same time. And then on the other hand, it's like, well, if it's not real and I know this is a dream, well, that's more comforting, you know, knowing that my mom just exited the video game. But there's still this character of me that is so pissed and sad and angry that she's not in the game. But should that even matter? If I know it's a game, you feel me? I will not be crying on this video, by the way, but I could right now. Just so you're aware, like, guys, this is just real talk. This is just me having a chat with you about what I'm experiencing right now in real time. So just be aware that as you're doing this semen retention, guys, I'm on my day 79 right now. And after day 70, I'm telling you, I've been able to feel this shift and all this stuff is starting to happen. And this knowingness that I'm like seeing through the veil has just started happening. And yeah, I've been having crazy out-of-body experiences when I take naps and getting sleep paralysis and slipping out of my body and like all this stuff. I literally feel like a hidden version of me, like my DNA is coming online, while at the same time this old DNA version of me that I thought was it is going offline. And my ego is like, what the literal hell is going on? So I'm hoping that I'm able just to keep moving through this, because I'm not going to stop. I've committed to this. Like, I want to see what a year looks like of going straight on the semen retention. And I've kind of, I've made it a commitment to you guys to be on here making daily videos, sharing my experiences of everything. So I'm not going to be the little bitch here that gives up his power because he can't handle it. It's like, I know I'm getting so much power. I can feel it. I just didn't expect it to hit me in this way. So just be aware, the longer that you guys get on these streaks, the more you start to hold on to your spiritual energy, your sexual energy, your life force, the more life just starts to present itself to you and open up to you and kind of starting to start showing you the code behind this video game. And just try not to lose your mind in the process, because it's weird. It's like taking a trip on psilocybin, on mushrooms, and peeking behind the curtain for 5 hours, 6 hours. I've done that. There was one time I thought I got lost outside of space and time because I did a hero's dose. I worked my way up to like, was it 6 grams or something? More? It was a lot. And I legit thought I got stuck out of space and time for a few hours, and I'll go into that another time, maybe. I was living with my parents at that time, going through my rock bottom, many years of health, disease, and everything. And looking back, I'm really grateful I got that time with my parents, specifically with my mom. But I'm just thinking back to that memory right now of that hero's dose trip where I was like out of it, and then my mom came to say goodnight. Like, I gave her a hug, but I was like on a trip and trying to hide it and still, give her a hug goodnight, tell her I love her. And she would, when I was living with them, she would come in every night, knock on my door before I go to bed. Some nights, if I was just too busy or upset with life or working on a project, she would knock. Sometimes I was just I won't answer, you know? She'd give me a, good night, Jay, I love you, through the door. It's like, fuck, man. Our relationship wasn't perfect, but man, now it's like what I wouldn't give for that opportunity again. You feel me? Even though I know this, again, like I was saying, is a game, and everybody's just here to help me learn a lesson, and everybody's me pushed out, and I'm convinced this isn't even reality. I'm convinced there is a way more real reality that we're operating from, and that, like, when you dream, right? When you write down your dreams and all this stuff that you experience in your dreams, I'm convinced that's reality. And that's probably where, you know, heaven, this next reality, this next dimension where my mom is at, is. It's like, I shouldn't be sad, right? I shouldn't be sad knowing that my mom is in that dimension. But like I said, it's like I'm stuck halfway in this video game character that his old life is dying off, literally. And this new version, this new character, is getting all these upgrades and these freaking superpowers and can see that everything is a game and get whatever he wants and be detached from it all. But it's this going from one to the other that is just, guys, it's overwhelming. It's exhausting. Let me know if that resonates with anybody, because I don't know if it does or doesn't, but it's real. And I'm just trying to do my best to get through it. And it's wild because I can then hop on business calls, work calls tonight, you know, handling monthly payouts for the company with my business partner, and I get sucked in. I'm so excited about everything we're doing, and it's fun. And then I have a brief thought of like, holy shit, like, this is me pushed out too. This is here just helping me learn a lesson. So if you're early on in your journey and you haven't hit this with your semen retention or your spiritual journey, enjoy it. Enjoy everything being real, feeling 100% real. Enjoy the fear. Enjoy the pain, the anxiety. Enjoy all of it. Because the second that stuff starts to disappear and your eyes start to be opened, that it's all a game. Yeah, you get cheat codes, you get to shortcut things, you get what you want, but also you gotta be willing to sit with the fact that you're in some type of game, some type of hologram that isn't as real as you thought it was. And you have to let that old version of you die and become this next version of you that carries on. I don't know what I was expecting, guys. For years and years, I've made my intentions clear to God, to the universe, that I have this desire to live as long as I want in this timeline, in this life. Reading the teachers of the masters of the Far East, of all these great elevated beings with these abilities and just ability to, you know, have dominion over the elements and the earth, and like live as long as they want to and go in between and out of dimensions. And I've made my intentions clear for that. I just had no idea this is the journey to get there. and realizing that the people that you love in this timeline, in this matrix, not everybody wants that. So there's still this pain of loss, of losing those that you love, losing. You don't really lose them. But losing those that you love out of the video game because they weren't meant to level up and get to that point in this lifetime. And is this constant evolution and upgrading of my life becoming something where it's nobody seems to be able to keep up? You know? Close family, close friends. Is nobody able to keep up? So does this turn into a lifetime of having to learn to say goodbye to people constantly? Is that what this is? It's kind of a bitch. And is that lesson just to learn that there really is no such thing as loss? Yeah, wouldn't it be cool to live forever? Wouldn't it be cool to learn how to operate outside of the matrix? Yeah, that would be awesome. But not everybody's going to do that for themselves. Do I force them to? Or does their soul also have its own journey that it needs to go experience, you know? Life is almost more fun when you don't get what you want. Because, and I'm not saying right now I currently have gotten everything that I want, but it's coming in fast. I can feel it. Like, I can genuinely feel it in my bones. Like, literally anything and everything I've ever wanted or desired to be or experience or have or whatever in my life, mine. I'm the version now that can handle it, can hold it. But you also become a version of you that sees life for what it is once you're able to obtain that and hold that. It's almost like the more real you think this game is, the more fun it is, because everything is much more serious and important. And the second you start peeking your head out from the game, you're like, what? Wait, this isn't real? Then what is real? Well, that's my rant for tonight. I don't know if you got any value out of that, but just know, raising your frequency with semen retention it's going to break your matrix. And it's going to do it in a lot of awesome ways. It's going to do it in a lot of awesome ways, and it's going to do it in some ways that you do not expect and are honestly pretty damn difficult to process. So just be ready. You want a big life, you want a great life, go for it. But I'm also having this thought of like this idea of being like in my lineage, the one to break generational curses and the one to break, you know, to heal generational things that need healing. Well, it's like, great, that's cool. But if it's all a game, what does it even matter? Does it actually matter? You know, this is just a school, a playground for lessons. You know, I used to think like, oh, this is my purpose. I'm the one in this lineage. And like, yeah, I think I signed up for this, but does it actually matter? If everybody is me pushed out anyways, did any of it actually matter in the first place? You know? Is it all just meaningless? Except for the value, the meaning that I attribute to it? I think we all want to be Neo in the Matrix, but I think we also forget the amount of struggle and pain that he went through to become Neo. That waking up process, the internal war that you have to feel, learning about life as it really is, how much of a paradox everything is, letting these old versions of you completely be killed off and killed off and killed off, as those in the game that you thought were real, that you loved, continue to stay where they are, and you continue to separate from them. Thus, you know, it becomes a little more lonely as you go further and further and further. This is an isolating path that we're choosing as men to walk. Not even just with the semen retention, but with spiritual evolution as a whole. With who you remember that you're actually meant to be, who you could be in this life. Whew! Guys, every time a light turns yellow, this is me popping back into the Matrix for a second. God bless Teslas. They're bringing me back to the Matrix here. Every time the light turns yellow, I just punch it. That one, I was still really far away from it, and I still made it all the way through before it turned red. Like, I was a ways out. That was pretty great. Go back and watch that again. You'll see. You'll hear the car. Barely. You want the powers of Neo in the Matrix, right? You want the legacy of him, the reputation, the manliness, the masculinity of it, but don't forget that it has to come with the waking up process of the Matrix, which, again, think of the word wake. It is actually all about death. Again, etymology, waking up. It's like as you're waking up, there's a version of you that needs to die as you wake. That's why this waking up process, that's why it's not all, you know, rainbows and roses. on the flip side, it's like, man, if nothing really matters, then maybe I could start being less of a jackass to people, you know? Maybe I could be more loving, more forgiving. Everybody's just a character anyways, here to help me learn a lesson. Why not just be more love, you know? God, this message today got really deep and intimate and emotional. Take or to leave it, fuck it. My word for the new year for 2026 was it's authenticity. That's the word. So this is me being unapologetically authentic. Take or to leave it. I really don't care. Said I was gonna make a channel so I can be authentic for all the men out there in the world to hopefully help other men heal and level up. And hey, this is what it looks like. This is what it looks like. And guess what? We need more men doing this, by the way. You know? So a lot of beings, souls in this video game, in this life, that need more support, need more clarity, need more assistance. Terrible parking job. Can I fix it? No. Not great. I should just let it park itself. What am I doing? Better. Okay. This is my favorite parking spot right here. And it just opened up. Thank you, sir. Isn't it funny when you're not attached to shit? You just get it. Like, I have zero attachment to parking spots, but for some reason this one's my favorite. And that car just left as I got here to give it to me. All right, I gotta go get a workout in. Hopefully that pulls me back into reality a little bit. Maybe I'll see some hot bitches in there and get sucked into that hole. Back and forth, you know. Energy game, masculine and feminine. All I'm saying is this, guys. Listen, life isn't probably going to be what you expect the longer you go on your semen retention journey, your spiritual journey. They're interlocked. Things change, perspectives change. Just be ready for it. And know that there is a meaning in this somewhere, even as everything loses its meaning. There is meaning to be found here. And you just happen to get to see me actively searching for it, looking for it. And sometimes the lights gotta feel like they're going off. You know? Like the show is ending. Like, you know, before the next one gets to begin. Before the lights come back on again. Which seems like that's where I'm headed, is this next version of me where it's like, bam, the next light of reality is about to be turned on, and there's a middle ground to walk through on your way to that. God, these videos are getting so freaking long. But This is literally my venting session for the day. So and it's my channel. I'll do whatever the F I want. If I want to make a 45-minute video talking about how my matrix is breaking, I'll freaking make a 45-minute video. Suck it. People who don't like it, go watch another noob talk about holding his ball sack in and it changed the course of history. What a stupid channel. When you think about it. What a stupid thing. We're all holding our nuts in, talking about how hard it is, and then it ends up changing our lives. It's all our balls. Make it make sense. Make it freaking make sense. Alright, I'm gonna go get a workout in. Peace, love, abundance. I'll catch you guys on the next one.